name's Renee and this is my cash stuffing journey. If you're new here, thank you so much for taking a chance and clicking on my video. I hope you decide to like, subscribe and stick around for a while. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your ongoing support. So today is the third installment of my Budget 101 and we are going to talk about cash stuffing. So we've talked about setting up a budget. We've talked about what to do when you either earn enough and are overspending, if you earn enough and underspending, and if you don't earn enough, period, and what some of the things you can do to make sure that you're covering your expenses. Now today is going to be about cash stuffing and how you get started. So we're going to talk about what is cash stuffing, how does it work, what systems are there, and what do you need to get started. I do have a pile of notes right next to me. So if I kind of space out for a second, it's just because I'm trying to catch up with my notes. Okay, so the first one, what is cash stuffing? Okay, so cash stuffing is a way of budgeting to gain control over spending by using cash rather than swiping a debit card or a credit card. It's based on the envelope system, which my grandmother's generation used to use, and even before that, and they would basically put money into envelopes, and then once that money was gone, it's gone. And that is still the very foundation of cash stuffing and things like that. So it's the kind of method I think that would be perfect for people starting out their budgeting journey. I wish I knew about this system when I was a teenager and I just started working. I think it would have been an amazing tool back then, because it would have prepared me for basically becoming an adult. It would have taught me to have a healthy relationship with money. Unfortunately, I didn't have anyone to teach me about that. Our situation was very different. I've been very open about us living below the poverty line. We had a lot of love in our home and a lot of support, but there was just no money. That was just a harsh reality for us. And it impacted my childhood, and it even impacts me now. Like, a lot of my most fondest memories are still tinted by the fact that we had no money. Like, we went without hot water, we went without sometimes the necessities because there was just no money. I watched my parents sacrifice and sacrifice and sacrifice and still not seem to get anywhere. So I think that would have been an amazing tool at that time. I think it also would be really good for people who have issues when it comes to swiping a card. It's very easy to go, oh, I'll just buy this and I will figure it all out later. You swipe your card. It's like, oh, I really, really like this. This is so pretty. Swipe your card, and then you never use it again. Or it's like, oh, well, I don't really need it, but I just might. So you swipe your card, and that was a big issue for me. Growing up, when we run out of something, like that was it. There was no going to the store for more. So if we ran out of like shampoo, like that was it. It was done. It was done. Same with pads and tampons and deodorant and things like that. Like, my parents bought it as quickly as they could, but that was just. And then when I had my own family, I was often, a big problem for me was I was bulk buying. So I would, instead of just buying, say, 2 bottles of shampoo, one for now and one for later, I would buy 6, and I would have them all in the cupboard. But I wouldn't then stop buying. I would keep buying things. It kind of came in handy during the pandemic, I must admit, because I did have a nice little stockpile. But it's to the point where it was an issue, and it's taken me quite a while to figure out why I was like that. But I think it's because of the fear of running out, and the consequences running out would have on my kids. But I'm in a very different situation than I was back then. We do have the money. We don't have a lot extra, but we have enough to go down to the store and buy shampoo if we run out. So it's something I'm trying to work through. It's a long process. So for things like, for people in situations like that, for those who have financial goals and you want a way to reach those goals, this method is an amazing way to reach financial goals, and in ways you probably didn't expect. I think there's this whole idea of when you become an adult, you need to save money, and you basically shove it in a bank account and you just leave it there. That system doesn't work for me. And I think that was all the problems I had trying to get to this point. So throughout this journey, and I haven't even been on it quite a year yet, but I have discovered that just putting money in a bank account, it doesn't work for me. I get bored, and then once I get bored, I run the risk of spending, and that is a big issue. So I find that the best thing for me is savings challenges. And when you're part of this community, you will hear that word a lot. You might have even watched videos about it. And they are just a quick way to save money. They keep me motivated and they keep me engaged. And then once my savings challenge is complete, I then distribute that money where it's needed. Okay, and then another one is, another reason that this system is so good is it changes your relationship with money. And my relationship was toxic. The money would come in and I would send it right back out again I would have no real thought about it, and I would kind of make sure the bills were paid, but then at the end of the middle of the fortnight, which is every 2 weeks, we would have no money and we would have nothing to show for it. We didn't have a full fridge, we didn't have a full car, we didn't have everything that my kids needed. And I was sitting there scratching my head going, what? And then I would be like, okay, I'm in the exact same position as my parents. We are now considered like a low-income family because there's no money left over. No, it's just the relationship I had with money was toxic. And this journey is very, very good at teaching you about that. And it helps you develop a good, healthy, strong relationship with money. And the importance that is to have a security net and to have plans in case things go wrong, because ultimately, eventually things go wrong, and they are generally very expensive and they are unexpected. So I think that is also, the pandemic taught a lot of people that too. A lot of people lost their jobs quite suddenly with no explanation or no warning. Like, they were just, sorry, we're closing down, bye. And it was a very big wake-up call for a lot of people, I think, myself included. I was lucky in that regard. Due to my work, I was able to work from home and work right through the pandemic. So that kind of wasn't an issue with us, but I became very quickly aware that it could be. And we would be in a very, very, very dangerous position. So, yeah, it's really important to have that backup. Okay, so when I started my cash saving journey, I failed miserably. I've stated that quite a few times on this channel. I was overextending myself. I didn't know the process well enough. I didn't understand, and I was cash stuffing so many different things, and then I would be like, okay, well, now I don't have enough money for this, and then I would have to pull money out of my envelope. So it was a constant cycle of stuffing and removing, but not in the way it was intended. So I'm hoping that by making this video and talking about it, I can help other people just starting out on their journey, and showing that you don't need that much to start. A lot of people seem to fall into the and I myself did it, they want to copy everybody else because it works. It clearly works for them. But budgeting is such an individual thing. You need to find your rhythm and your process and system that works for you. And we're going to talk about a few of those systems, and you might love one, you might hate another, you might mix a couple of the two, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we've talked about what is cash stuffing. Let me change my sheet. Okay, so how does it work? Okay, I've already done 2 videos, one on creating a budget, and the second one on what to do if you are overspending, underspending, or you don't earn enough. So you've gone through in quick summary, what you need to do is go through at least 3 months of your bank statements and create 4 lists. You need essential expenses, and that's things like rent, utilities, loan repayments, credit card payments, things like that, things that you have to pay. Then you've got daily living expenses. So this is things like groceries, fuel, medication, things that you use day to day. General spending is just, well, I really like that top, or I need to go to the store and I need to get any kind of decoration for the house, or I need storage tubs or things like that. Just general spending. And the 4th one is debt. So you need to list all of your debts. You need to list the minimum repayment, how much is owing, and the interest rate. And then that will kind of, once you do that, I hate to say it, but you might get a very harsh wake-up call. I know I did. It was amazing to see how much of my money was just being spent on stuff that I didn't need or didn't use. So that was a really big wake-up call. I discovered that I was earning well within I was earning over enough, actually, to be honest, because I am on a very good wage. I'm lucky in that regard. And I was just way overspending. It was just way overspending. My husband is very frugal. He's a very frugal man. He does not like spending money at all, unless it is on me and the kids. Now, if I said to him, and I said, I want to blow $500 on a bag of googly eyes, they are so weird, but anyway, he would let me. He would let me. And it's because he knew how I grew up. He knew how tough money was. He knew that I sacrificed a lot to help my family. And I didn't really get to enjoy that part of my teenage years, like most kids. Like most kids, they go to work, they get a job, they go to work, and then they get a little bit of play money. I didn't have that. I was helping to pay bills. I was helping to support my family. Very rarely did I ever get any money out of my paycheck, but it gave me, I think, a very, very strong work ethic, and I knew that I had to work really hard. It was just what I had to do, and in a way I'm thankful for that, because like I said, it comes in very handy now in my role. But excuse me, but it did colour my childhood. It did. It was my reality, and I didn't have a choice, but that was the way it was. Like, so I just frivolously spent money because I could. For the first time I could. And that was a big problem. And then you also, so back to where we're meant to be talking about. Sorry guys, I'm just checking my camera. I'm having a lot of trouble with my phone at the moment. It's putting me on some time of limit, so I need to make sure that I get through this quickly. Okay, so you also need to think about what are your financial goals, and think of your long-term goals, but think of also your immediate goals, and write them all down and how much you want to save for them and by when. That will give you a really good idea of what to save and how to save it. And then when you go through your statements, that will tell you if you earn enough and are underspending, if you earn enough and are overspending, or you just don't earn enough. And once you know that, then you can create your budget, because you can go through and you can say, okay, well, I earn enough and I'm overspending, like in my case. What can I cut out? What can I get rid of? What can I stop doing? What can I put towards my savings or my cash stuffing? If you don't earn enough, it will also show you where you can cut things. But it will also show you, do you need to get a side hustle? Do you need to get another job? Do you need to ring your bill companies and see if you can get any discounts? Can you lower your plan and get a cheaper plan? It will open up a whole new avenue of ways that you can improve your situation. But sometimes, ultimately, people just do not earn enough. That's a harsh reality. There's just not enough money. And for me, my biggest goal was we would like to buy our own home. It's a dream of me and my husband to own our own home. And for me to do that, I had to bring in more money. My son has special needs. I'm sorry, my cat just trod all over my lighting. And my husband is his carer, so he does have a business from home, but most of his time is dedicated to the running of this household. And it means that I can go out and work. Because of my bachelor and my master's degree, I can earn a very decent wage. And it made more sense for us, for him to stay at home with the kids and me to work. So that's the system that works for us. But I realized that we needed more. We needed more income. So that's when I started my small business, Just Roll It in Glitter. And then that became YouTube. So you never know where it will lead you. Okay guys, I'm sorry, my camera cut out. So categories. So it is a trap that a lot of people fall into, but you don't need to stuff every single category right off the bat. I tried that and it didn't work because I saw other YouTubers stuffing large amounts of money and it worked for them. So they would have 6 binders and 1,000 envelopes and they were putting $25 in each. And it didn't work. So for me, what I found is when I stripped it right back to my immediate goals, I was a lot more successful. So for me personally, I had a savings fund for a deposit for a home. I had a savings deposit for my son, a savings account for my daughter, and an emergency fund. Now, if you can only have one category, and if you do, that's okay. If you only have one, I highly recommend doing an emergency fund, because that emergency fund can kind of give you a little bit of backup while you're learning this system, while you're saving money, while you find your groove. And you will find it. It just takes a little time and a little dedication, but you will find it. And the budgeting community on YouTube is amazing. If you're having trouble, reach out. There is also groups on Facebook and they are all amazing. This is one thing that I can't stress enough, is this budgeting community is amazing. They are kind, they are welcoming, and they are supportive. So it's okay if you stumble, if you fall over, if you make mistakes, if you don't know what you're doing. Reach out. We are here, we are waiting, and we will help. So categories. I would basically, strip it back to your most basic. I would probably put a limit on 2 to 4 at first, and then as you get more confident and comfortable in cash stuffing, then you can add more. Once you're kind of on your way to getting your foundation goals, then you can start branching out into long-term goals, like things like saving for stuff in advance or being a month ahead in all your bills. But at first, I would limit it to, say, 2 to 4 categories. For me, what I found worked, I had 4 in my savings. So most people call them sinking funds. I call them savings goals because that's just how I label my binders. I had 4 in my savings goals. So I had a deposit for a home, 1 for my son, 1 for my daughter, and 1 for emergencies. And then I also had 4 in my wallet. So that was my daily living expenses. So I had medication, I had kids, I had groceries, and I had fuel. And that's it. They were the 8 that I focused on. As I got more confident as I got more comfortable, as I got better at managing my money and cutting out the unnecessary, I was like, okay, well, I've got a little bit more money left over. Why don't I add something else? And then I discovered savings challenges, and then it blew up after that, because I realized that I can save money in a fun and engaging way and then use that money to stuff my envelopes. So when I finished a challenge, I would be like, okay, well, what can I put this money in? And that's how it kind of really got a hold of me, and I'm so glad it did. So, sorry, I'm just quickly reading through my notes. So when selecting your categories, pick what's important to you. What is your goal? Where do you want to see yourself in the future? And focus on those first. Okay, now the next one, we're talking about cash stuffing systems. Now, when I say cash stuffing systems, I mean the way that people cash stuff. So there's a couple. I've broken it down into 4. Okay, the first one is fully electronic. So that means all of your money stays in the bank, and you either put it into different accounts for your spending and your saving, or it literally sits in one account, and you use like an app or a pen and paper or like a laminated card to keep track of what you are spending and what you are saving. Now, that system would not work for me. It wouldn't. Being fully electronic would not work. But there is Gazelle Budgets. I think it's Gazelle, or it might be Giselle Budgets. I will put all these down in the description and on a card at the end. So Giselle Budgets and Funding McGeeda Jones. They are both really great YouTubers who work fully electronically. So Giselle uses an app on her phone that has all the envelopes, and she transfers money in and out based on all of that. And she does savings challenges and everything, and it's all done on the phone, which is amazing. Funding McGeeda Jones, she does it differently again. She uses her credit card for everything, and what she does is she will stuff prop money into her binders. So as she spends on her card, she pulls the prop money out. And then she's got this little book, which is amazing, and it's got what she's cash stuffing and what she's spending and all that kind of stuff. So she keeps track of it that way. The second way is fully cash. So that means when you get paid, you pull everything out of the bank, you stuff everything, and when a bill is complete and ready to be paid, you then deposit that money back into the bank. That system also did not work for me, because going to the bank where I live is a nightmare. It's like a 30-minute round trip. It is right in the middle of the CBD, which is impossible to get parking. That's just not an option for me. And there's actually only 3, not 4. So it's very early where I am. And I call it the hybrid system, and that is the system I use. So I use a combination of electronic and cash stuffing. So all of my bills are left in the bank, and I pay them electronically. They come out automatically. I don't have to think about it. I have multiple bank accounts. I have 11 of them. And if you go back and watch my cash stuffing method, it goes through it all in detail. I think it's the My Hybrid System or something, like My Hybrid Budget System or something like that. I'll see if I remember to put a card at the top of this video. But what I do is when I stuff my money, when an envelope gets to $100, the next time I get paid, I transfer $100 from my pay electronically into the bank account that that goes towards that goal. And then I pull out that money, I put in a prop slip, and I use that cash for my next cash stuffing. It lowers what I have to take out of the bank. It means that there is a clear indication on my bank statements of me transferring and saving money, because we are currently saving for our home, and cash stuffers have a lot of problems showing where their money is coming and going when they draw everything out, because once it comes out of the bank, the bank can't see it. They don't know what happens to it. So I want to make sure that it's very clear of when I'm saving and what for. So that is the hybrid system. Now, one size does not fit all. It doesn't. You might think that one system works great for you, and then you will tweak it. You might try one system and it doesn't work at all. So I would highly recommend doing your research on all of them. I did forget to do the full cash budgets. So the full cash budgets that I could find were Jordan Budgets and Budget with Julie. They, based on my knowledge of them, they are full cash budgeters. And for the hybrid system, there is myself. So just roll it in glitter. There is also Carocash and the Aussie Budget Queen. Now, we all do a hybrid system of both electronic and cash. So I will link all those names down in the description. I will put a card at the end of this video so that you can have a look for each system and see which one might suit you. And finally, what do you need to start? Okay, now this was a big thing for me. When I started, I wanted all the things. I wanted all the pretty things. I wanted all the binders. I wanted all the envelopes. I wanted all of the savings challenges and trackers, and I wanted it all. And the problem is, I put myself into debt to get myself out of debt, and that is a ridiculous concept if you think about it. So if you are just starting and you are scraping by on a minimum budget, I have a couple of things that could work for you. And then as you get more money, I'll show you a few other things. But to start out, you literally can go back to where this all started and do it how my grandmother's generation did. And you want to know what that was? Literal envelopes. That's how it started. So this is a pack of 100 just office envelopes. I paid about $2 for these. And you can just literally open this up. You can have this sitting where you need it to. You can just put the money in it right on the front, what's in there, and then on the back you can literally track any of your spending and deposits into this envelope. You can just write them on the back. Simple as that. And then you can store these in a pretty box. You could store them in a bag. One of the other ways I was going to do it was a pencil case. You could store them in a pencil case. You could store them in a drawer, in like a planner that you already have. You can do so much with just a packet of envelopes. And that is all you need. Really. I mean, you don't even need these, to be honest. There's other ways you can do it. You could create your own envelopes with a piece of A4 paper and some sticky tape. There's so many ways to do this system, and you don't need to spend a lot of money. I can't push that enough. So another way is a pencil case. You could get some colored piece of paper. You could put dividers in a pencil case and just stuff it in the pencil case. You can store your envelopes in a pencil case. This was another way that I found. A third way was I got all of these from a very cheap store. I think I didn't pay more than $1 or $2 for anything in this. These are some Ziploc bags. They're just kind of like zippered sandwich bags, to be honest. So this is what they look like. And you could probably get these from the grocery store. You could get zippered pouches from the grocery store. If you did have a folder, you can hole punch them so you can poke some holes in them and slip them in there. Or, like I said, you could put them in a pencil case or in a drawer. The other thing I found, which I thought was so cool, and I'm going to figure out a way to use this is a business card wallet. And you could also do these with, do you remember, I don't know if they're still a thing now, but we had ones like this. It was a little bit bigger and it was a photo album and it had all these plastic sleeves in it. You could even use one of those. So this one is literally just a business card holder. You could literally fold up your money and shove it in here. You know, I'm going to do a video soon. So I do have my cash sitting here. So, for example, that won't fit. And there you go. So you could use this. So you can use so many different things apart from a budget binder. Now there are plenty of budget binders out there that are absolutely beautiful. If you do have a little bit of extra money and you do think that a budget binder would be the best, I would highly recommend going on either Etsy or Amazon. In Australia, Etsy is cheaper, I think, than Amazon for us. But even then, it can be quite expensive. So if you live in Australia and you are just starting this journey, it can be quite expensive. Just because of how the currency exchange and the shipping and everything. I am an Australian budgeter. And I do have my own Etsy store, which is just Roll It in Glitter. And I do have a budget binder starter kit. And that comes with a binder, 6 envelopes, 6 trackers, and a planner insert. But that's not why I did this one. I didn't want to plug my own products. But you don't need all of that. You don't need all of that. You can strip it back to its bare minimum and you can start this journey and have an envelope that has binder written on it and save for a binder. But if you do have a little bit of extra money, I would check out Amazon and Etsy for those options. So I hope this helps. I will have all of the cards and all of the information for this video towards the end or sprinkled throughout it. I don't know how I'm going to set it up yet. But I hope this helps, and I hope this outlines what can be done with very little. And because of budgeting is not a one-size-fits-all, it's an amazing way to grow and to achieve your goals. And it doesn't have to be done all at once. It doesn't have to be done quickly, and it can be done at your own pace. Yeah, my mantra for this channel is, even if you save $1 a day, that is $1 more than you had yesterday. And that's $1 that you can fall back on if something should go wrong. So I've literally seen some channels stuff $3 a week, and it adds up a lot quicker than what you probably think. So I hope this video helps. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments below. You can also send me an email. It's also linked below. I hope this helps, and thank you so much for watching, because this is probably going to be a long one. I ain't gonna lie. I really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this helps, and you can do this. You can. I know it might seem overwhelming, but we are all here waiting to step in and help you, and you can do this. You've already taken the biggest step by realizing that you need help and realizing that your current way of life is not working. So, well done. Sometimes that's a harsh reality to face. You've already taken the first step by realizing there's a problem. You're taking another step by watching these type of videos. And I still learn something every day from the cash budgeting community, and we are here to help you when you need it. Not just myself, but I can give you dozens and dozens of channels where both the subscribers and the YouTuber themselves will help. So reach out. I promise. We're here and we're waiting. You'll be okay. You can do this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you remember to live, laugh, love, and when life gets hard, just roll it in glitter. Bye guys.